Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Family in days after vlogger Lexi D. Bless dies in crash. Pain was etched on the faces of relatives and friends of popular YouTube vlogger Luxin Williams hours after the 20-year-old, along with two men, perished in a road crash along a section of the North Coast Highway in Trelawney. Williams, popularly known as Lexi D. Bless, was being transported by 25-year-old Kenmore Smith of Hague in the parish when the Toyota Mark X motor car in which they were traveling crashed in a Toyota Voxy about 6:45 p.m. on Friday. While en route to an event dubbed Cookout Vibes being staged in the Rayabino Square, Smith, along with 30-year-old Chris Codner and an upcoming entertainer also known as Free Speech of Exchange in St. Anne, who was driving the Toyota Voxy, also died. A number of passengers were also hospitalized. When reporters visited Williams' home in Rayabino yesterday, Williams' loved ones were still in shock with black faces all around. Her mother, Sharon Paris, spaced the veranda, looking out onto the streets as if expecting to see her daughter come in. "Me can't talk," was all she could find the strength to say to reporters. Her cousin, Anissa Harrison, said that Williams' father, Douglas, was away in Jackson and was also walking around dazed. "I may first get the car," she did, Harrison said, wiping away tears. "When me hear the news, the phone drop. Me no stop cry, me traumatized. It no real," she said, describing Williams as a comedian who loved to make people laugh. From her primary school days at First Hill All Age to Albertown High, she was the life of the party and the entertainer. She was always dancing and giving jokes, Williams' brother, Owen Lou, added. He reported that his sister had been anxiously anticipating the relaxing of COVID-19 protocols. The cookout was the first thing to get her back to the activities she loved. Lexi had ambitions to become known worldwide, and she was on the way. She had her YouTube channel, where she had blogs and advertised parties and other entertainment events, Lou said. Putting a hoodie over his head and covering his face, the grieving brother said that he had been looking forward to seeing Williams entering various entertainment contests in which she would usually excel. She, along with some friends, had just won the Just Bus contest. From one night, she won a talent contest put on by Charlie Chaplin right here in Rayabino. She never looked back, just one forward movement. Andrew Gavins, a DJ who lives also in Rayabino, said Williams' passing had also shaken him up. "Me and her always a perform. She was a leader. You go to her to discuss business. She always have a positive vibes. I know me one I go miss her hundreds a week," he said in between humming a tune. Shopkeeper Marcia Park said many persons were at the cookout and Lexi was to be working in the bar. News of the tragedy came as a shock. "I said, no sir, it's like 5 minutes ago she was in the bar. The whole place was stunned. People couldn't eat their food and the music almost stopped playing," Park said. She described Williams as a mannerable girl who had no enemies, she added. "You could always say, 'Lexi, give me a joke,' and she would make you laugh." More than 100 road fatalities have been recorded across the island since the start of the year. Jamaican working to support family at home shot dead in Bronx, USA. A Jamaican man who was working in New York City, United States, to support his family on the island was gunned down near a donut shop in the Bronx in New York following a confrontation between his attacker and his girlfriend on Friday. The deceased is Stephen Stewart, 26, who was residing in the Bronx at the time of his death. A report from NBC New York said Stewart and a male friend went to a nearby Dunkin' Donuts outlet and subsequently he and a woman had an argument. The unidentified woman reportedly accused the Jamaican of standing too close to her and disrespecting her, law enforcement sources were quoted as saying. Stewart and his friend decided to leave the donut shop, but they were reportedly tracked down by the woman and cornered near Holland Avenue and East 212th Street in Bronx. The police believe that shortly after, the woman's boyfriend showed up and shot Stewart. Both the woman and her boyfriend fled the scene, and the police were subsequently alerted. They assisted Stewart to the hospital, where he later died. One of Stewart's aunt confirmed to reporters in a media interview on Saturday that her nephew was from Jamaica and had moved to the Bronx just 3 months ago. "It's just sad," the woman who asked to remain anonymous told a reporter. She said Stewart was working at a restaurant in New York City to support his family in Jamaica. He left behind his sisters and mother in Jamaica, with the latter reportedly having to be rushed to a hospital after learning of her son's death, family members in the Bronx told reporters. Police in the Bronx are continuing their manhunt for the gunman and his alleged girlfriend. Westmoreland residents urged to maintain vigilance against dengue. Medical Officer of Health for Westmoreland, Dr. Marcel Graham, has urged residents of the parish to continue to protect themselves from dengue fever. Graham encouraged residents to take responsibility for their health by destroying mosquito breeding sites in and around their homes. The temporary vector control works do not replace the personal responsibility that each person has to secure their health and wellness and to secure the spaces that they operate in free from this vector, she said. She was addressing the recent monthly meeting of the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation. Symptoms of dengue include sudden onset of high fever with severe headache, fatigue, pain behind the eyes, muscle bone or joint pain, skin rash, swollen glands, and vomiting or feeling nauseous. Persons are encouraged to ensure that mosquito repellent used on skin and clothing contain DEET. It is also advised that householders close windows before nightfall, open windows during fogging, and change water in animal or pet containers regularly to prevent mosquito breeding. Citizens are also encouraged to keep their surroundings free of debris and destroy or treat other potential mosquito breeding sites. Location chosen for the construction of a market in Portmore. Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Desmond McKenzie says a location has been selected in Gregory Park for the construction of a modern market in Portmore, St. Catherine. He made the disclosure while addressing a community meeting in the Gregory Park Square on Friday. According to McKenzie, the state-of-the-art facility will be built on a 12-acre property to meet the need in the Portmore area. "We will be building a modern market, and this market is for the benefit of the people of Portmore. Gregory Park has been chosen because the lands are there. We have the location right here," he said. The minister said further details will be provided when he makes his contribution to the sectoral debate in Parliament. Meanwhile, Mayor of Portmore, Leon Thomas, said the Portmore Municipal Council is giving up the land for the market as the authority is in support of the development. Member of Parliament for St. Catherine East Central, Alonzo Terrelong, said his constituents welcome the new development. "As a government, it is not our intention to box food out of anyone's mouth, but to provide an orderly way in which persons can sell their products and persons can purchase their necessary items," he stated. McKenzie added that Gregory Park has been selected as one of the communities in Portmore to be a part of the Paint the City, Paint the Town project. The initiative is aimed at generating employment as well as beautifying and upgrading town centers. Sigma Run raises $52 million for KPH. The Sagicor Foundation, through the 24th staging of its annual Sigma Corporate Run, has surpassed its target of $50 million for its beneficiary this year, the Kingston Public Hospital. In fact, $52 million was raised. This was announced by Peter Melhado, Chairman Sagicor Group Jamaica, as he greeted the participants at the start line for the culminating Sagicor Sigma Invitational Run on Sunday, March 20. He thanked all the participants who came out in support of both the invitational event and the Sigma Team Bubble Run, which was held on Sunday, March 13. "We are grateful for the continued support of our race participants, our kind donors, both individuals and corporate, our sponsors and Sagicor team members who came together in a big way to make this race possible," he stated. The chairman also thanked the 2022 Sigma Run patrons, Hansa Parchment, 110-meter hurdle Olympic champion, and Megan Tapper, 100-meter hurdle Olympic bronze medalist, for their commitment to the cause, as they gave of their time and lent their face and voice to the cause. The Sagicor Foundation also held several fundraising initiatives which contributed to the overall total. This year's figure brings the amount raised over the past 2 decades to over $550 million. Over the years, several institutions have benefited from the run. The team is so happy that we were able to achieve this feat. We started the planning of Sigma Run from last year September, and it is a great feeling knowing that our beneficiary, the Kingston Public Hospital, will be able to procure a number of medical equipment to better support their surgery department and treat cancer patients, said Alicia White, Executive Director of the Sagicor Foundation. The charity run, for the first time in its history, held 2 road races as it sought to manage COVID-19 protocols. On March 13, the Sigma Team Bubble Run was held, which saw participants from some 50 teams. For the invitational race, participants who competed the Sagicor Sigma in 45 minutes were invited to attend, which saw 133 males and 129 females participating. Registration for the Sigma Virtual Run is still open and goes until March 30, with registrants having until March 31st to complete their 5.5-kilometer run, upload their times at sagicorsigmarun.com, and get their finisher certificate. Persons can still donate to the cause by several methods, including online at sagicorsigmarun.com, check payment made payable to Sagicor Foundation Jamaica, direct deposit to the Sagicor Foundation Sagicor Bank account number 550-290-7486, or cash drop-off at the Sagicor Sigma Secretariat Office located on the ground floor or Danny Williams Building, 28-46 Barbados Avenue, Kingston 5. Last year, the Sagicor Foundation raised over $49 million for the Port Antonio and Oneonta Bay hospitals. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.